Right, so granny square, how to start it off with a slip knot. And we're going to make 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so for the beginning part of a granny square, you need a little circle. So we're going to slip stitch to that first one in the chain 5. So the very first chain out of the 5. You can pick up just that top loop just for a chain ring, that's fine. And slip stitch is yarn over, pull through, split the yarn, hang on. Yarn over, pull through, and then pull that loop through that loop. And you've made a little ring then, where the chain meets each end. So if you can, just flip the tail over the working yarn, just so that it's not going to get as much in the way. Okay, so to start your granny square, you need to do 3 chain. 1, 2, 3, which is the height of the trebles that we're going to use, which is the other stitch we're going to use in the granny square. So you need to try and locate the middle of that ring. So it's the big space in the middle. You should be able to just about fit your little fingertip through it. Okay, and then you're going to yarn over, go into the big hole in the middle of the ring, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and now you've got your initial chain, which acts as a treble, then a treble, or double crochet if you're in American terms, yarn over, go into the big space again, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that makes a cluster of 3 because the chain acts as the treble or the double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. So on the corner, you're going to make a chain. So because we've made 3, that now we've reached a corner, even though there's no square there yet. This is how we create the first square. So that's the chain for the corner. Yarn over, you're going to do another 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1 for another corner. So every time you do 3 on this first round, you do a chain 1, back into the big circle in the middle, 1, 2, 3, and then chain 1, and then we're going to do 1 more cluster of 3. So 4 sides to a square, 4 clusters of 3. So I've chained 1 for my corner, and I need 3 to make the final side of the square. 2, 3. Right, so now, because we want to keep this granny square right side facing us, sometimes you can turn and work back the other way around, but I prefer to keep the granny square with a right and wrong side, so we want this side to face us all the time. So we're going to do the last chain 1 to form this last corner, and then to finish this round, we want to slip stitch to the top of the first 3 chain that we made. So I've got 1, 2, 3, so we're going to go into that top one there. Excuse me. And then slip stitch is obviously just yarn over, pull through, pull that same loop through the loop that's on the hook. So now we want to look at these little V's that are across the top of the stitches, because that's working into the actual treble stitches. You only need to do that when you're slip stitching across to your next corner. So we've already slip stitched into the first treble, which is the chain 3, top of the chain 3. So now we want to slip stitch into the second treble of the cluster. So we're going into the V, yarn over, pull through, pull that loop through that loop. Then we're going to go into another one, pull it through, and then we're going to go right into that big space that we made with that chain in the corner. and just slip stitch our way into there. So now we're sitting in that corner, we can start a new row. So you can see that you've got your first square. It's looking a bit rounded because we've not worked anything else into it yet, but you can see that you've got your gaps at each 4 corners. So now we're going to do chain 3, yarn over, make 2 more trebles or double crochets in American terms into there, and then do a chain 1 and then make 3 more treble into this space. So all these are going to the same space, 2 lots of 3 with a chain in the middle. Okay, so because we're on round 2, it's all corners again, like it was with round 1. So we're going to jump over 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and go straight into that big chain space in the corner. We're not going to chain because we're on a side. We only ever chain on a corner. So no matter how big your granny square gets, you're only ever going to chain 4 times on each of the corners. Okay, yarn over and go into that big space in the corner. First treble. So you can see how we've skipped that 3, creates a new gap. But we're not going to chain there because we don't need to. We're just going to pull it together. So 1, 2, 3, and then we chain 1 now because we're on a corner, and we do another 3 into this same space. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now you can see we've got half of the second round done. So again, we don't need to chain at this point because we're going straight into this next corner, and we're skipping these 3 into that corner, 3 trebles, one chain in the middle of the 2 groups of 3, and then another 3 trebles, and then skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're on our last corner. 1, 2, 3. So we're on a corner, so we need a chain 1, another 3 into that same space. 1, 2, and 3. So that's round 2 done. So now we're left with a gap on this side, but when we close that gap, we'll have another little chain space. So it's not a chain space because we didn't make a chain, but it's a space where we skipped 3 stitches. So we're going to skip these 3 treble, and now we're going to slip stitch and do exactly what we did on the previous row. I'm going to find that 1, 2, 3, the top of the 3 chain, push our hook in, yarn over, pull through, pull that loop through that loop, and then the V's, remember, go into that next one, yarn over, pull through, pull that loop through that loop, and then to that one, yarn over, pull through, pull that through that loop, and then finally right into that corner, yarn over, pull through, and then 3 chain for the next round. So we're just going to continue working around. Now this is the first row where we work into a space that's appeared in the side, so I'll show you what to do with that. So that's your 3 chain, that acts as 1 treble, so we only need 2 more trebles, and then a chain 1, and then 3 more trebles into that same corner. Okay, and then we're going to go into this space here. So on a side, remember what I said, you only ever need chains on each of the 4 corners, so don't chain at any other point. And take the yarn over, go into the big space, yarn over, pull through two, pull through two. And can you see how that's brought that together there? And we skip those 3. So we only want to put 3 in this space because it's the side of the square. So it's the first time we've had to do this. So if I lay it down, so I've done 3 there. So you can see we've got a 3, a 1 and a 3. We're on a straight side, so we only need 3 to go into that hole there. And then we're going to go and make another corner. So yarn over into the corner, 3 treble, 1 chain. So we've done our chain for our corner, and then we do 3 more into this corner. And then we can move into that side space, 3 in there. So remember, when you're on a side, you only want to put 3, a 1 cluster of 3 in there. Okay, so nearly done, halfway round. And you can see that that next row is taking shape. So don't chain, and then go into your corner space. So 1, 2, 3, there's your corner space. 3 trebles. We're on a corner, so we want 1 chain and another 3 trebles into that same space. And then we're on to the side again. So we've got this big space in the middle that wasn't there on the last side because it wasn't long enough. Okay, and then we're going 3 into there. So if you're on a side, no chain, and then 3 treble into that space. And then we skip the 3 to come into that last corner. We do 3 treble, one chain, 3 treble. Then skip 3 again, and you're into your last side. So we just put 3 in there. Then we don't chain because we're going to just knit that to there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 chain, and go into the top 1. Pull it through the yarn, and then pull that one through that one, and that's joined your space again. Then we need to slip stitch across into the corner. So we go under the V, yarn over, pull through, pull that loop through that loop, under the V, yarn over, pull through that loop. Then we're going right into the big space, yarn over, pull that loop through that loop. So we've travelled into our new corner, and we'll just start the whole thing again. So 1, 2, 3 chain, 2 trebles, because that first one acts as a treble. That's made our cluster of 3. Chain 1 because we're on a corner, and 3 more trebles into this same space. Okay. So now you'll see how the pattern emerging. So on the side this time we've got 2 gaps before we get to the corner. So we want to put 3 in there and 3 in there, and then work that corner. Okay, so we're going 3 in here. 3 in here. And then work the corner. 2, 3, 1 chain, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. And so you're just going to carry on going round and round now. Take your granny square as big as you like. So you'll be doing 3 into there, 3 into there, and then 3, 1, 3 on the corner, 3 into there, 3 into there, 3, 1, 3, 3 into there, 3 into there, and slip stitch, and then so on and so on. So just keep going with it, see how you get on. Good luck.